But if you can, gosh, that sun's coming out. What's up YouTube? Today I'm bringing you another video. This is actually my room back at my house. Now, I would show you the rest of the room, but as soon as I moved to DBU, it kind of became a storage room, so there's a lot of different stuff in here, and it's very cluttered. Today I'm going to be bringing you a video that will hopefully help you with your communication skills throughout your daily life. I'm going to be talking about 4 things that you can do that will help your communication skills, whether it's talking to friends casually or talking in front of people, speeches, whatnot. But hopefully these 4 things will help you in your communication skills. These are things that I learned in the past but haven't really started using them until recently. And I wish I did because it would have helped me out a few years ago. So without further ado, let's get into it. Number 1, think before you speak. Now this is something that most people just overlook as not really a good communication skill, or it's just something that we should all automatically do. Now I didn't used to do this a lot, you know. I was very blunt about what I thought. I was one that would speak my mind. It really didn't matter what it was, I would just say it. But now if you were to talk to me, you would notice that a lot of times I pause when I speak, and it depends on the conversation, but most of the time I'll pause every once in a while I'm speaking. Now there's 2 reasons why I do this. One is I'm having a deeper conversation with someone and they're asking me questions that I might not directly know right off the top of my head, and so pausing gives me a chance to think about what my answer is going to be. And 2, if I do know an answer that I'm going to give someone, pausing gives me a chance to figure out a way to present it depending on who I'm talking to, which ties into number 2, know your audience. Now this is especially important when you're evangelizing and talking about faith or the gospel or anything deeper. One thing you have to understand is who you're talking to. Now it doesn't matter what information you bring to the table, what knowledge you have of the subject. If you're not speaking the right way, depending on who the person is, it's not going to get through to them. In high school, I often had people come to me if they had questions about the Bible or certain topics because they knew I went to church, they knew I was a Christian. So they would come to me with different questions. Back in high school, I really didn't take this rule seriously. I would talk to kids who were atheists. I would talk to kids who were Christian but not really in a sound biblical lifestyle. And I would just start spouting off verses and different things that they should and shouldn't do. It really turned them off to what I was saying because I wasn't presenting it in the right way. If you talk to someone who's atheist, chances are they're not really going to care what you have to say about the Bible or God because they just don't believe it. Now with different people, it is different ways. You can't just expect to talk to everyone the same or talk to everyone completely different. It really takes a little bit of time to figure out who your audience is, how to come up to them, how to talk to them. Gotta look at my notes. Which is a good segue into number 3. Take notes. Now taking notes has never been something that I've personally been good at. I've always been one to wing it, to kind of go with the flow. I felt like I could just come up with stuff on the spot, which typically I can do pretty well, and it depends on the type of conversation, if it's a casual conversation or if, you know, I'm speaking in front of people. This tip really isn't for the casual conversation. You know, you're not just gonna have notes with you on how to talk to somebody if you're just casually talking to them. But this is a good tip to have if you're speaking in front of somebody, if you're doing a presentation, you know, if you know what you're going into having to talk. It's good to have notes on what you're talking about, different things that you want to bring up in the conversation, different things that you would want to get across to the audience depending on what the conversation is. Now I just started doing this recently and it actually has helped. I've started doing it with a lot of my videos. It keeps me focused enough to where I can get the point across and get the message that I want across. And now, yes, I do have a lot of outtakes. Of course you can tell with the different cuts that I have, but that's just because I stumble on my words. I say all the time, and there you go. It's just a good way of helping me get through the topic and what I want to bring to the video. Number 4, speak from an unbiased position. Now this is something that I did not do in high school or the first couple years of college. I just recently started doing this and recently started making sure my emotions and my feelings were in check before I talked to someone, depending on what it was. Now in high school, like I said earlier, I was one to talk about religion, talk about my faith, all this. But one thing I didn't really work on is talking to someone with an unbiased opinion. Now this can be many different things. There can be many different effects to this depending on who it is. For me, I would always either talk to someone who I might not have liked, I might have had mixed feelings about. I usually wouldn't take that into consideration when I talk to them. What I would do is just start talking and pointing out the facts and throwing out all this and what they need to do and all that. And what it did was it came off the wrong way most of the time. And what that does is it turns the conversation completely around. It takes a conversation that I'd meant to be, good, uplifting truth into kind of a hate conversation most of the time. And that didn't really work out. Most of the time it left me and the other person uncomfortable with the conversation, and more likely than not, we wouldn't really talk much after that. Now, this is something that is really hard for most people to understand, most people to apply when they're talking to somebody. But if you really can come at somebody with an unbiased opinion, it really does help the conversation, and they can get a true, sincere opinion, not just one-sided. It really can help them, and it really can help you stay in a neutral area and just be there for the support and for the help that they're asking for. Now, honestly, I wish I could have done all 4 of these things in high school. I can recall countless conversations where I didn't use these skills, and it really did hurt the relationship between me and the person, and it really did affect how I could have been a witness or how I could have just been a better friend. So I hope that these 4 things can help you in your communication skills, as it has been helping me the last couple of months in the last year or so. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please go subscribe. It does help. Also, my links to Twitter, Snapchat, and Instagram are going to be in the description, so go follow me on there. A little incentive, if you want to see the very, very last minute rig that I have for my camera set up, go follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I'll post pictures of that. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you next time.